Greater Good Radio. Connect, learn, heal, and grow.
The decisions, there are different categories of decisions we have, and they're decisions that either I or our board have to make that are kind of business essential sorts of decisions. There are not many of them. These are large decisions. If you think you're making 20 or 30 large decisions a month, you're not making 20 or 30 large decisions. So they ought to be significant, and they ought to be something that really can in some way change or enhance where the company's going. You also have to be involved in decisions other people are making, because in what you do, you have a lot of other people who work for you. So you have to evaluate the decisions they're making. Are they making good decisions? And are these the decisions that are right for the company? So I don't think there's a particular acid test for what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And different people have different tolerances for decision making. The other aspect of it is that depending upon the organization or the people who are working with you, you can delegate a huge amount of decision making to people you have a high degree of confidence in. And then, in contrast, if you have people who are inexperienced or people who aren't as capable, you have a tendency not to delegate as much. So there ought to be some variation in just sort of how many decisions you have to make just based upon the people that you choose to make decisions for the company too.
So how are you able to build your team and keep it to be the strongest? And do you kind of just throw something out there and see what their reaction back is to see if they're going to make a good decision, basically, and make it successful? How do you figure out how much trust to give somebody?
You basically have to trust people. You have to go in with a proposition that you trust them, and to a very significant extent, that's been true at A&B. We have some great people, and the interesting thing is that in the scoreboard of business, making the right decision and taking the right direction is about 20% of the game, and 80% is actually doing it. So good decisions and great execution are better than great decisions and poor execution. If you had to choose between the two, what you want to do is you want to really have an environment where people are pretty much making most of their own decisions, and there are certain parameters, guidelines, and sort of what works for the company, and you want to stay within those parameters, but you got to let them make their own decisions, because they're the ones that have to do what they've decided to do. And that usually works.
If you resonate with Greater Good Radio, please join our community at www.greatergoodradio.com, where you can get access to exclusive content and offerings. Hope to see you soon.